Hello, everyone. It's time for your April 2025 market update. Let's break down what is happening in Arizona real estate across different price points. From we can talk about affordable home price like something under 300,000, right, to mid-range properties, and also talk about luxury estates as well if you're interested in that. The market is shifting, and even if you are buying, you're selling, or investing, you need to watch this today episode very closely, right? Let's first dive right into the home price, okay? What happening in the home price under $300,000 right now, okay? Inventory search go to the roof, right? 146.5 days on market. That is oh, three times more than the long-term average, which is about 55 days. As you see here, this is the blue one. The blue box here is about 55 days, 50.5 days. Okay, but we are now shifting at nearly three times that number, 146. Why is that happening? We're talking about many of the homes are older condos or fix and flipper. Okay, that's number one. Some that have a lot of HOA, the HOA fee is so high, or maybe some of the property in less desirable locations. Okay, we're talking also about because of the fire, a lot of like a fire in California, a lot of insurance increase recently. That is also another reason, and of course financial issue is also pushing the buyers away. Then they don't buy. When they don't buy, more houses gonna be stuck on the market, right? And therefore, is what happening to the price, right? This price range used to be very hot, especially during the COVID time period, right? With homes flying away very quickly. Right? If it is less than $300,000, it's gone right away within a second. But now, since it is, like I said, the buyer market, all right. So that's the reason why the seller in this category are having a very hard time to moving their properties, and they may need to adjust their expectation on pricing, um, and the condition of the homes as well. Do not just stuck with one number. You have to be more flexible to be able to uh, get the home sold quickly. Obviously, as you see here, here's an evidence, right? So this is just a little bit warning for you as a homeowners that is under $300,000. Okay, what is going on with mid-range? So when we talk about mid-range in Arizona, right, we're talking about $300,000 to up to $1 million, right? What happening nowadays? All right, we talk about the inventory. Uh, right now is about 106, the current market, okay? 106.7 days. It is still going up. Now, for the mid-range, we have the long-term average is about a little bit more, 94 days, okay? But we still, at the current rate, we still already pass what the long-term average is, okay? This segment, which covers most of the primary residents, just FYI, if you are not in Arizona market, you probably do not are not familiar. But for 300,000 to million is a typical price for primary residents. Okay, and is on the forward. Okay, on the trend to moving up, right? And that's result an oversupply. Okay. So if we look at the COVID time period, inventory was at the on-time low, right? About like 20 or 30 days only. Multiple offers were the norm in during that time period, right? Now it's very rare. Okay. Buyer has more choices and negotiating even harder in today's market. All right, especially for this price range right here, where a lot of people still, if they still in the market, this is the price range typical people gonna search for. Okay, so 140 days is gonna be a very, very dangerous line that we don't really want to reach. Okay, once we pass the 140 days, this segment shifts fully to the buyer's market. And but we're not there yet, but we're heading to that direction. So be careful of that. Okay, one key takeaway from this one is that we are still at the balance, because obviously we're not reaching 140 yet, right? But the seller needs to make their home stand out, think staging or maybe pricing is a little more competitive, and offering buyers incentive so that buyer can purchase easier, and you know the um, um, willing to accept the condition of the home. All right, so that's the takeaway for the seller in this price range. Now, next we talk about lower end luxury home. This is about $1 million up to $5 million. Okay, uh, the current inventory is 169.5 days, which is way below normal. Believe it or not, okay, this segment is still hot by historical standard though. The long-term average of this one is 279.4 days. Obviously, the longer, the more expensive the house is, right? The longer time it takes for the home to be sold. The inventory of this price range is only 169. It's way below long-term average. Okay, that means the luxury buyers are still buying. Despite the market uncertainty elsewhere, right? Demand remains strong for higher end homes. Supply hasn't kept pace yet, right? There's not a lot of people want to sell the house in the luxury high end project houses, right? And that keep the sellers in the driver's seat. Okay. Now here's one threat. Okay, volatility is a threat. It's a threat to the luxury buyer market. Okay, luxury buyers often rely on the stock or the businesses, right, to fund the purchase. Economic uncertainty could shake confidence quickly, right? I have buyers in one of my luxury home. They are very super excited about making an offer and go under contract. They finally get under contract, right? And then the next day, when the stock market goes down, they cancel. Well, that's the proof, right? They have the money, they just don't want to risk. Especially in today's market, as you know, there's a lot of things happening in the market. One day it could go down, one day it could go up, right? So that's the reason why, if the money is still in the stocks, in the access form, right, those buyers tend to be, losing their confidence quickly. Okay. One key away for the seller in this range is this. Okay, you still have the leverage. All right, in contradictory with a lower end price, affordable home price, to mid-range price. Okay, you still have the leverage, but keep an eye on the economic. Okay, so if it is going way down, then be careful and adjust the price accordingly, because the buyers have less leverage to spend on houses. Okay, so those are the three price range that we are going to look at. The next, which is also the favorite one, is a comfort market index. I really like to look at the comfort market index because this one is actually a summary of everything, of all the market. Is look at the current market condition, okay, and it's give you a clear understanding of the current market through this index. If you follow my channel, you're probably familiar. This is not by me, but it is by the Comfort Associate, which providing a very reliable real estate data. The way that they do is, for each city they assign based on the information on the market, they get to a number, an index. Okay, if that index number is more than 110, it's a seller market. If it is from 90 to 110, it's a balanced market, and if it is less than 90, it's a buyer's market. So as of right now, out of the 17 cities in Maricopa County, we actually have 12. Right, the numbers go to 12 already. That worsened for the sellers. That means it's getting toward the buyer side more. The buyers has more negotiation power in those 12 cities. Okay, only 5 that has actually improved, and those are actually the only cities that still in the sellers market. Okay, those are the city. Let's see if I have a chart talking about which city. Okay, oops, I don't think that I have it. Sorry about that. Those cities that in the sellers market, we're talking about Chandler, Avondale. Those are the 2 example still in the sellers market. Okay, so if you're buying a house in Chandler or Avondale, you don't think that you're gonna have the negotiation power as much as other cities. Okay, 8 cities that in the sellers market, 3 that is the balance, and 6 already in the buyers market. Some cities that has the worst, meaning that swing all the way to the buyers market, including Tempe, Cave Creek, Peoria, Mesa, and Phoenix. Okay, so those are the cities that just recently swing to the buyers market. So here's one key takeaway from this. Okay, we're seeing a slow, steady shift toward the buyers. Okay, especially for the mid-range or lower price, affordable price, right? From maybe from $0 to 1 million. The seller have less power now than they before a few months ago. So this is another confident, another evidence showing that the seller has to change the expectation and be more reasonable in pricing and be willing to offer incentive and seller prepare. Okay. All right. Next topic is very hot because we're talking about mortgage rate. In fact, every single things happening in real estate rely on this number. Okay. So we have another roller coaster months so far. Right. Early in April, we have about 6.8% interest rate. In mid-April, we have about 6.6 as of right now. Okay. A little bit temporary drop of 6.6. And this week, all of a sudden, we have 6.85% this week. Why is that the case? Okay. A poorly received treasury auction caused bond yields to spike. Okay, so that's a very bad news for the interest rate, and that's reflect into here. Well, I thought it was going down furthermore, but it's not. It actually goes up because of the result provided by the government. Also, the volatility, they're talking about the how bond market, how stock market changing rapidly, right, has spooked the mortgage lenders, right? They scare them all. Tariffs also another reason, and the decreased imports from China are also expected to reduce demand for the U.S. bonds, which means higher mortgage rate moving forward. When the bonds reduce, have a lower demand, the opposite happen to the interest rate. Okay, so one key takeaway of this information: this mortgage roller coaster makes buyers hesitate because they don't know what's going on. Sometimes it's go down, sometimes it's go up, right? The higher the rate goes, however, the fewer the buyers qualify. It's not just like they don't want to buy, they just cannot qualify because their monthly payment is going to be higher. Okay. And more pressure is on the seller to cut prices. Because if they cannot qualify and if the seller cannot support offer incentive so that they can buy down interest rate, right? They cannot sell, they cannot buy. And therefore, the house is going to be stuck on the market forever. So to be able to sell the house, the seller has to be adjusting their expectation and helping them out. Okay. We otherwise, if we stuck, then the house is never sold, and therefore is stuck, and you cannot do anything with the house. Right? Okay. My final thought on this is this. Okay. Okay, so there's some reason why the mortgage rate goes all the way back up. Okay. So my final thought is that based on everything as a summary, you can see that the under 300,000 price range house is already in the buyer's market. Okay. It's way before that. So the buyers has much more negotiation power in this range. from 300 to 1 million is approaching the buyer's market in all the cities. Okay, right now it's only 6, but it seems like the other 12 is also, reaching the buyer's market. Is less favorable to the seller right now already, so it's approaching the buyer's market. For the luxury, don't worry about it. You're still in the very strong seller's market as of right now, but definitely watch for the economic uncertainty. Okay, and if it is continue to change, then definitely make some adjustment right away. And like I said, just come back here every week. Then I will be able to present the information to you the most up to date. Now, some of you ask me, hey, I don't have time to watch this video. Well, this one is recorded video, so you can rewatch anytime. And if you're afraid that you forget, feel free to text the word market to 480-480-7948 and receive the most up-to-date information in the real estate market. Okay, so that's how I help you guys. Okay, and watch to what? Rising inventory. If it continue going up, okay, then we definitely have to review the price and everything. Okay. All right, that is all I have in today's episode, and thank you so much, everyone. If you're thinking about making a move, this market is tricky. I understand that, but it's not impossible. So let's talk about strategy. Let's see if we can understand the market more. Okay, that's why I offer this show to everyone in the weekly basic. Okay, if you need a specific like an area specific, because I know that this update is very general. If you want a specific area, like only want to look at Chandler, or I want to look at only Gilbert, right? Text the word area to 480-480-7948, and my team will be helping you out to get the most up-to-date area market update. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.